Hey guys, it's Paul, and we are back for another episode after our little break. We had a couple of issues. We had technical issues and family issues, and it's been pretty hectic, but we got it sorted out, and we're back. And we're bringing you part 2 of the Urban Legends of Each State series. We hope you enjoy it. We had fun doing it. And I'm just going to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by paraboxmonthly.com. You can go to paraboxmonthly.com and sign up for your first box today for just $19.95. And then at checkout, you can use promo code Goose Pimples. That's all one word, Goose Pimples, and get 10% off your first box. Parabox has been great for us. They are an amazing company. Your box will include a quality soft style t-shirt. I believe this past box was Krampus themed, so you got a cool, supernatural holiday themed t-shirt. It's an awesome design, and you're also entered into an online scavenger hunt. If you get to the end of the scavenger hunt, you qualify to win extra bonus merchandise completely free. These scavenger hunts are amazing. Jim over at Parabox does a phenomenal job preparing these scavenger hunts. It's hard to explain what an online scavenger hunt is, but basically when you get your box, you have your shirt, and then you have a couple other pieces of information in the box explaining what this month's box is about, and there's clues everywhere. There's clues on the shirt, there's clues in the box, the clues on the little cards that explain what's going on. Those clues will lead you to websites, and those websites will lead you to other websites, and there's hidden links, and you have to be full on Sherlock Holmes mode to figure these things out. But it's something. It's so much fun to get a couple of friends together and see if you can crack it together. That's what we did. We got our box last month, and me and Eric and Eric's mom, we all got together and we basically tried to crack the code. Now we are dumb, so we never got to the finish line. Actually, we ran out of time. We were going to see a movie or something, but it's a ton of fun. Don't miss out on Parabox. Paraboxmonthly.com. You're going to love it. I promise. I'm going to shut up now and let you get to the episode. I hope you enjoy it. We love you. Bye. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Goose Pimples, a show where I, Paul Breeden, am joined by my wonderful cousin,
Eric Arterbridge,
to dive into the creepy and skin-crawling things that keep you up at night. Eric, it's just the two of us. Just like Will Smith. Oh, was that a Will Smith song?
We can make it if we try.
I think it was Will Smith.
Yeah, I think that is.
Mike died.
He has become part of Ghost World.
So, there's that. He's dead. It didn't work. You may have noticed that there has not been an episode of Goose Pimples in 2 weeks.
At least, yeah.
And that will be primarily because of Eric.
I tell you what happened. I have piece of shit computer, and Paul replaced it with piece of shit computer. So, 2 piece of shit equal nothing good. So no episode come out.
I didn't think it could make it much worse. So the first week we missed because I had a baby. It kind of threw our recording schedule off.
Yeah, apparently that's my fault too.
Yeah, well, if you didn't knock my wife up, we wouldn't have this problem, Eric.
Well, if you could, then we wouldn't have this problem, Paul.
But last week, it was another technical issue that was caused. I guess it was my fault, huh? I did give you that computer, and I did insist that you try using it.
Yeah.
And it didn't turn out well. But hopefully things will be back to normal this week. But there's a problem. So we did week 1 of the Urban Legends of Each State. And when we did it, we found them out as we read it because it was the first time we'd seen it. We've seen all these. We did this last week. We did this episode. And I got to tell you, there's some clunkers in there.
Yeah, you can say that again.
There's some that are just, like fake Yetis and big fish. We're going to read them all. If you're, we're not going to leave states out because that's not fair to people that are in that state and want to see what their shitty urban legend is.
Yeah, that's just not right.
But we're going to kind of maybe gloss over some of the less interesting ones. We did decide we were going to see at the end of this what like the creepiest, scariest urban legend of them all was, and we decided that the creepiest one from the first episode had to be Homie the Clown, right?
Yeah, because Homie don't play that.
Homie don't play that. So we're going to do that. We're going to see if any of these urban legends can top that urban legend as far as creepiest.
Okay.
And another thing is Eric is actually going to do the second part. He's gonna be reading the myths the legends for the second part of Urban Legends of Each State, Part 2.
Urban Legends.
And I say we just get right into it. Wait, you know what? No, wait, stop. Before we start,
okay.
I want to say something. So if you're listening to this podcast, you probably have a phone nearby you, all right? And a lot of you probably have iPhones. If you are listening on an iPhone and you want to help us out and you've enjoyed even a second of our podcast over the last, I think this is episode 13 or 14 maybe, do us a favor. It's super simple. I didn't realize that it was this simple. But if you just opened your cell phone and you clicked our show in order to listen to it, and you want to help us out, click our show page in the iTunes, or the Apple Podcast application, scroll down to the bottom, and you can rate our podcast. The better ratings we get, the more ratings we get, I think there's like an algorithm where it will then show us on the iTunes pages and the suggested podcasts. So I'm not saying what you have to rate us, but the ratings there, it's super easy. You just click how many stars you think our podcast is worth, and then if you want to write a comment below that, you can do that. This used to be like a tedious process to rate and review. You had to go like into actual iTunes on a computer that nobody uses anymore and do it that way. It's simple now. So if you want to help us out and you want to help the podcast out, just in your Apple Podcast app, scroll to the bottom, rate, and rate us a review if you want to. That's up to you.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Okay. I'm not talking specifically to you, Eric. It would help if you did it as well.
Okay.
All right. So let's get into it, Eric. I think we left off at Montana.
Yeah, we did Montana. So, Paul, what do you think they have in Montana?
Let me see. The first thing that comes to mind when I think Montana, Eric, is like big fish, like a lot of fishing.
Yeah, Paul, you hit the nail on the head.
Did I?
Yeah, actually, it's the Flathead Lake monster of Montana. And you know what it is? It's a big fish.
That is, so according to, by the way, this is thoughtcatalog.com. This is an article by Jacob Greers. This is, he compiled this list of urban legends, and there is a picture of the Flathead Lake monster that you'll be able to find at goosepimplspodcast.com. Eric, go ahead and read a little bit about the Flathead Lake monster before we get into the picture that has been provided to us.
Okay, well, reports of the Flathead Lake monster have been escalating recently, with more and more people saying that they've seen something out of the ordinary. The picture of this monster is theorized to be a baby monster with the mama and papa still out there somewhere.
So the picture is just it's a big fish.
You know what they say, big fish, little pond.
Do they say that?
Yeah, they do, about, I think, assholes or something. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I see it. Now, the question that I asked the first time we recorded this podcast is, have they had any kind of, like, marine biologist come and look at this to rule out, like, oh, this is just, like, a big catfish? You know what I mean?
Highly doubtful.
I did Google pictures of the Flathead Lake monster, and there are, I guess, artistic renditions of what the mama and papa could look like.
Oh,
and in these drawings, it looks more like like a big eel. Like there's one that looks like a big eel.
Oh,
with like kind of a shark head. And then there's another one that's like like a really long crocodile with a skinny nose. So I don't know. I mean, well, like I said, you can see the picture on the website.
I just want to make a side note. I think saying mama and papa is funny. It reminds me of 11 from that show that I have apparently never seen.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, that one. And she's, mama? I want mama.
Papa?
That was funny.
Yeah, so that's Montana. They have a big fish.
Yeah, and little pond.
and a little pond, and that has something to do with assholes.
Okay, well, shall we move on to Nebraska now, or what?
We should do it.
Okay, so their urban legend is sadistic farmers versus bunnies.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this one.
Okay, well, it's a rather disturbing old tale, which tells the story of two farmers who take a road trip to buy extra powerful fireworks that were not for sale in Nebraska. They brought the fireworks back to their farmhouse and got extremely drunk before the celebrations. Looking out from their porch upon the field, they spy some rabbits in the distance. Remembering what a nuisance the rabbits were to the crops, the farmers decide to get some sadistic pleasure with the fireworks and the rabbits.
Okay, so extra powerful firework. It's got to be M80s, right? I think M80s are like the most powerful firework there is.
I don't know. I don't know anything about fireworks.
I think the M80s are like a quarter stick of dynamite.
Paul, what's going on in the background there, buddy?
That's my dog playing with a toy. Let me take that from him, and then we'll keep talking about these rabbits.
Okay.
Okay, so not a bone. It was a mechanical pencil that he got somehow, and there's
wonderful,
very, very little left of it.
Oh,
so I'm assuming that'll be an issue in a few hours. Okay, so let's get back to it.
Okay, so here's what happened. They strapped each of the rabbits to a firework and watched them run off into the distance before they blew up. Laughing hysterically, they tied one last bunny onto a firework and watched it run. This rabbit, however, ran the opposite direction toward the farmer's beloved truck. Seconds before detonating, the bunny jumped through the driver's seat's window and blew up the truck.
It's like a Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah.
With the bunny coming through the window, and you just see like the zoom in on his face before the whole truck explodes. Okay. So this is less, I'd say, of an urban legend and more of just kind of what I imagine goes on in Nebraska, right?
I guess. I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not too.
But I love how the truck is beloved.
This story wouldn't be as impactful if the truck wasn't beloved.
I guess so. If it was a hunk of junk that they hated, they'd be like, good riddance.
Good riddance. I'm going to get the insurance money on this one. But no, it has to be beloved.
That's my favorite truck!
That way you know that the bunny was actually, he was getting revenge.
Yeah, that's true. Well, good for him.
When I was in middle school, I remember there was a kid who apparently used to stick firecrackers in cats' butts.
I hope that's not true.
I hope it's not true as well, but that was kind of like the urban legend surrounding this kid.
Did I know him? Who was that?
No, you didn't go to my middle school. It was some kid from Dobbinsville, I want to say.
I thought you said high school.
No, this was middle school.
Yeah, Paul, I'm only half listening at all times.
Even when you're talking?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, let's go to Nevada. Area 51.
Area 51. Possibly one of the greatest legends that there is, but it's not even a legend anymore. It's certified. Area 51 exists.
Well, yeah, I guess it exists, but what goes on there may be a legend or may not.
True.
Well, let's see. Area 51 has been dodged with rumors of the paranormal pretty much since it opened. Many people claim that the base is a focal point in the United States' effort to control and suppress alien presences in the country. Others claim to have seen flying saucers and even alien bodies at the facility. The military has recently acknowledged the existence of the base, but insists that there are no aliens to be found there. That's probably because they moved them all somewhere else before they told everyone that it really existed.
Well, yeah, I think you have to have, top-level clearance to see where the aliens are.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Do you think they gave it to Trump, the clearance, or?
No, you know what? Who was it? I want to say Clinton. I want to say it was Bill Clinton said that or the rumor is that one of the first things he did when he got office was he wanted to see these files. I might be mixing my presidents up. One of the presidents like they insisted that they see all the files on Area 51 and all the, any kind of extraterrestrial information we have. And they were told that they didn't need to see that it was
damn.
They didn't have high enough clearance. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, something's going on. Something's definitely going on. Have you ever heard of Bob Lazar?
No.
Okay, so Bob Lazar was one of the people who initially brought Area 51 to like the general public's attention. Like I said, before it used to be a legend. Now I think they wanted to expand the amount of ground that they had, so they had to actually like come forth and say like, yeah, this place exists. It's a military air base, and we want to get some more ground. But they never said what goes on there. But until that happened, like it was a rumor that the place even existed. And this guy, Bob Lazar, in 1989, came out and did an interview with George Knapp on a Las Vegas television station, KLAS, and he basically exposed Area 51. He came out saying that he worked there and that he was involved in reverse engineering of different flying saucers and spacecraft, and that he'd seen all kinds of crazy shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it started. And I think when he did this, I think when he came out, it was because he was like super afraid for like his family, and like I don't know, it was a weird situation.
That sounds pretty crazy.
It does, and there's a lot of these people that have come out and kind of given their takes on what they've seen at Area 51. So it makes you wonder. I mean, it's one of those things where there's so many people claiming things and so many things are popping up that it's hard to just say they're all crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
It should be noted, though, that in 1990, Lazar was arrested for aiding and abetting a prostitution ring.
Oh.
So,
well.
I just found that out. But, yeah, Area 51 is definitely, it's interesting.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Maybe one day they'll invite us there to do our podcast.
Yeah, from the hangar next to the spaceships.
Yep.
I'm sure they will do that.
Okay, well, Paul, now let's go to New Hampshire. Your daddy's state. Papa?
Yep.
So New Hampshire claims to have the first alien abduction, apparently. And New Hampshire isn't the first place you think of when you think of aliens, but according to urban legend, it is the home of the very first alien abduction. Betty and Barney Hill were driving home one night when they saw a strange light in the sky. After watching it for a few moments, they went to drive home, but found it was a few hours later than it was only moments before. Under hypnotism, they remembered being probed and experimented on.
So they lost some time.
Yeah, a few hours.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, they was getting probed.
You know, the biggest question that I have after hearing that is,
what did it feel like?
Well, that's one of them.
Oh.
I already know what it feels like to be probed.
I know you do.
No, what happened to the name Barney? No one ever names their kids Barney. Do you know any Barneys?
Not a single one.
That's one of those names that kind of got lost in time, you know?
But weren't Barney and Betty the names of the neighbors from the Flintstones?
Yeah, Barney and Betty Rubble.
That's funny that this couple has the same names.
That is funny. What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. Maybe they were based on this couple. Maybe this couple was based on them. I don't know.
Maybe. There were aliens in the Flintstones. Remember that guy?
Oh, yeah. I do. He would zap in and zap out, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he would always call Fred like an idiot and stuff.
Yup. That was him.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot about the Flintstones, but I remember that.
Yeah, nobody does. Okay, well, shall we go to New Jersey now or what?
Let's do it. I bet I can guess what this one is.
Go ahead, try. See if you can.
Is it the New Jersey Devils? NHL hockey team, the New Jersey Devils?
That's right. They're a legend. Nobody knows if they're real or not.
I've seen them on the TV.
Oh. Well, you might be the only one who knows then. Well, okay, let's get down to reality. Brass tacks. It's the Jersey Devil, which is a Native American witch, predicted that her 13th baby would be a demon, and so she wasn't surprised when she gave birth to a devil-human hybrid. The baby...
No, I mean, that's, you just got to roll with the punches sometimes.
Yeah.
Listen, even if you predict something like that, when that comes true, I think you're going to be a little bit surprised.
I think so, yeah, probably. But, so here's the question. When you give birth to the devil-human hybrid, what does it look like, and how do you know it's part devil?
Well, I would think you can tell from the pitchfork.
Oh.
Because that's got to hurt like hell coming out. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm guessing, mainly because I remember you said it last week, that the baby looked normal at first.
Yeah. Apparently the baby initially looked normal until it grew a horn and satanic tail. Not a normal tail.
Satanic tail.
Satanic tail.
Satanic tail, you can always tell the satanic ones because they have the little triangle at the end.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, listen. Yeah. So the creature fled, but was seen frequently over the next 300 years. Even Napoleon Bonaparte's brother swore to observe the creature while he was visiting New Jersey.
I'm going to say it again. It's so weird to me that what was Napoleon Bonaparte's brother doing in New Jersey?
Yeah, I don't know. When was that? The 1800s?
No, Napoleon was the 1700s.
Oh,
I mean, was his brother like one of the colonists?
I don't know. I'm going to look this up right now.
Well, I'm already on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Napoleon lived from 1769 to, until 1821.
Okay, so
maybe if he had a younger brother.
The turn of the century, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about siblings on here.
And whether or not they were in New Jersey.
Yeah. But, hey, I guess he was there, and I guess he observed it.
Wait, when did you say he died?
1821.
This says that he died 1873.
What are you looking at?
Google.
I'm looking at Wikipedia, so...
Yeah, Wikipedia. Yeah. 1873. Come on, Paul.
Yeah, but then if you click the link and go to the actual Wikipedia, the first paragraph says 1769 to 1821.
Oh. Is this a different Napoleon? Not to be confused with Napoleon, it says. Let me see who this one.
Napoleon, not to be confused with Napoleon.
Yeah, I typed Napoleon Bonaparte, and then it took me to... Okay. It took me to Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, not to be confused with Napoleon. Come on, Wikipedia, get your act together.
Napoleon Bonaparte lived right. I was correct. It was 1769 to 1821.
Okay, I see it now. Yeah.
Also known as Napoleon the First, he was a French military leader and emperor who conquered much of Europe in the early 19th century. He was born on the island of Croatia.
Oh.
Nope, that doesn't say Croatia. That says Corsica.
It's like, is Croatia an island? I don't think it is, but, you know.
Yeah, so, right, I guess, yeah, it's possible he's in New Jersey. New Jersey was around back then.
Yeah, it was, but... I mean, there was a lot of witchcraft going on back then, too, so... This all is adding up.
Yeah, there was for sure.
I don't know, did you ever see Hocus Pocus? That's a documentary about the times of witchcraft in the 16 and 1700s.
Oh, I see. Okay, I saw another documentary called The Witches, where they turned this little boy into a mouse in a hotel. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that's a good documentary.
What about Blair Witch Project? Did you see that documentary?
Yeah. Oh, and Paul, where's that take place? New Jersey, right?
No, I think that was Maryland.
Maryland? I don't remember. But Paul, there's this movie I saw one time on Cinemax called The Bear Wench Project. And it took place in Delaware.
Did it really?
Yeah, it really did. Can you believe that?
The Bear Wench Project.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bare, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so. Right? Is it coming up?
It came up.
Oh, good.
Softcore pornography. 4 sorority girls with large breasts hike into the woods with their guide, Lunk. Find out the true story behind the Bear Wench. And then they show off their chest. This is, by the way, the description of the movie according to IMDb. Then they show... Oh, I lost it. Then they show off their chests following a mangled version of the Blair Witch storyline. Synopsis. It looks like we don't have a synopsis for this title yet. Be the first to contribute. Just click edit page.
I'll write it.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about Delaware, but I take your word for it.
Thank you. Okay.
It stars Nikki Fritz, Julie K. Smith, Larissa McComas. All right, that's enough of that. Let's keep going here.
Okay. Let's move on to New Mexico. El Chupacabra.
El Chupacabra. Now, if I remember correctly, there's a lot of El Chupacabra knockoffs later on in this list, right?
Kind of, yeah. I think that sounds right.
Okay.
Well, listen. El Chupacabra is not an animal you want as a pet. So they say El Chupacabra is a vicious beast that feeds on goats and other animals. Reports initially came from Puerto Rico and Mexico, but the nasty creature apparently visited the United States too, with reports of vicious attacks all across New Mexico.
New Mexico. It was confused. It thought it was still in Old Mexico.
Yeah, that's true. But it does just look like some kind of coyote or something.
Yeah, I think that's like... The belief is that it is like a big coyote, dingo type animal. But the weird thing about El Chupacabra is that it sucks blood like a vampire.
Wait, is that true? I thought that was one of the other ones.
Well, no, that's El Chupacabra too. Like they find animals with the sucked dry, with all the blood sucked out of them.
Oh, yuck!
Right?
Yeah, that's
Am I making
gross.
that up too?
I don't know. You tell me. Are you doing the math?
Yeah, I got the calculator up.
The abacus.
I don't know. There's a lot of pictures online if you Google Chupacabra. But I think most of the pictures are just mangy coyotes.
So they're like photographs or artist renderings?
No, there's photographs.
Oh.
But like I said, they're just like shitty dogs, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. They're covered in their own fecal matter?
Yeah, Chupacabra.
When I went to Mexico on, I think, the last day, there was this dog that was wandering the streets that was kind of covered in his own fecal matter. He had dreadlocks. It was really sad, but he was so sweet. I wanted to bring him home with me, but I couldn't.
What? Yeah, you can't cross the border with those, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Right?
Probably not. I couldn't get him on the plane.
Oh, you flew? Yeah.
Yeah.
Chupacabra, the truth about a strange blood-sucking monster. Yeah, the whole blood-sucking thing is weird. Because I don't think, other than, like, mosquitoes, and we talked about this, I don't think that... Are there animals that suck blood for nutrition?
I don't know. Well, there are definitely insects. And,
right.
Do bats? I don't know. Do any bats? Or is that just the vampire myth?
I think that has a lot... I mean, there's vampire bats. Oh, here we go. 8 animals that suck blood.
Nice.
All right, let's see. Mosquito. Duh.
The doy.
A flea. Ovs.
Yeah.
Bed bugs.
Ew.
All right, now this gets interesting.
What?
The oxpecker.
What's that?
The oxpecker. It says it's an African bird, also known as a tick bird. They perch on cattle and big game animals while removing ticks, fleas, and maggots from their host's hide.
Ew.
This might seem almost nice until you find out the oxpecker also feeds on the blood from the host animal's wounds, preventing the injuries from healing and sometimes creating the wounds themselves. Okay, so, yeah, it's a blood-sucking bird. Nice. Wait a second. Number 4, the vampire finch. Another bloodthirsty bird.
Weird.
This is taking a real Alfred Hitchcock turn, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
The vampire finch is found on the Galapagos Islands. Though it's often seen eating seeds and insects like other finch species, the vampire finches also have a taste for blood. Their victim is the booby bird, which surprisingly doesn't seem to mind being a meal. In fact, the booby often sits patiently
and waits
as a long queue of vampire finches wait to drink their blood.
That's horrible.
All right, well, I want to see what a booby bird is.
Wouldn't it be funny, though, if it sat impatiently? Okay, come eat me now. I'm ready.
Yeah, they look pretty dopey. Actually, these... have you ever seen a booby bird?
I haven't seen a booby bird.
They're very cool looking, Eric.
All right, well, send it to me.
Okay, let me see. Bum, bum, bum. Booby bird.
Booby
You ready?
bird.
Check the Skype chat.
Okay.
It's not there yet.
Oh.
It's not there yet. Booby bird. They're cool looking, right? Blue feet.
Hold on, give me a second. It's got to load. Oh, they are cool. I thought you said they're dopey looking, like dumb.
They are dope. You don't think they're a little dopey looking? They're dancing around?
Well, see, at this point, I don't know if you were saying they look dope or they are dopey looking. What were you trying to say?
No, I'm saying that they're dopey looking.
Oh, yeah.
They seem like the kind of bird that would stand there and let a line form behind them of vampire birds.
Oh, yeah, I just zoomed in on the face. I see it now.
Okay, let's see. Number 3 is a leech. Number 2 is a lamprey, which is like an eel type thing.
Ew.
Oh, and the vampire bats. Okay, so they do suck blood.
Nice.
This type of bat, of which there are 3 species, is the only known mammal whose diet solely is based on blood.
It is reality.
It is reality. Well, it's not reality because they left out El Chupacabra.
Oh, that's true.
I'm assuming. Is El Chupacabra... It's got to be a mammal, right? Looks like a mammal.
I guess.
I don't know. I Googled pictures and some of them have like weird alien eyes, so... Who knows?
I don't know.
All right, enough with this chupacabra nonsense.
Okay,
what's next, Derek?
Let's move on to the state of New York.
Okay, I can't handle the picture that they use for the state of New York's urban legend.
Yeah, it's real creepy. The legend is the Rake. Starting in the early 2000s, a number of bizarre stories began to surface about a creature nobody had ever seen before. It is said to resemble Gollum from Lord of the Rings and induce their prey to feel extreme or even violent emotions. Anyone who looks the Rake in the eye becomes its victim, oftentimes a very drawn-out and emotionally turbulent slog to death. Oof. Yeah, allegedly there is even evidence of people's encounter with the Rake. There is a suicide note from someone who is said to be a victim of its odious stalking. And this person wrote, quote, "As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to assuage any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act. It is not the fault of anyone other than him. For once I awoke and felt his presence, and once I awoke and saw his form. Once again I awoke and heard his voice and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without fear of what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye."
Goodbye, my sweet prince.
Bye.
Was that Keanu Reeves that you were doing there?
I don't know.
Well, okay, listen. The Rake, in all seriousness, is fucking terrifying.
to say the least.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm almost at a loss for words because this picture, like, it's like this picture is staring through. Like, okay, if you saw this in real life,
yeah,
it would drive you crazy.
You would shit yourself.
You would shit yourself the first time.
Yeah.
And then if you saw it again and again and again, which seems to be the MO here, it seems like this thing just kind of haunts people.
Oh yeah.
But what does the rake get out of it? Like, did the rake eat this person at the end? Is it like fucking Monsters Inc. where they just live off screams?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then he's winning.
Yeah, I'd say. I'd say his little meters at the top of the list there. And what was it called? What's the Monster Inc. city? Something Tropolis.
You know, I don't remember.
Come on, Eric.
I just don't remember.
You just constantly let me down.
Well, you don't remember, so what's that say about you? You're letting me down.
Next state.
Okay. Well, have you ever heard of the Beast of Bladenborough?
I have not heard of the Beast of Bladenborough.
I know that's a blatant lie. Well,
what state is this?
I'm going to tell you, but first you gotta, try
play
it.
the game.
That's right. So the Beast of.
What do you mean it's a blatant lie?
Because
are you referring to the reason I heard this exact story 1 week ago?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, maybe I have a bad memory.
Oh, me too. All right. Well, anyway, the Beast of Bladenborough lives in North Carolina. And stories of the beast first arose in the 1950s, where a number of livestock animals were found with their jaws broken and blood completely drained. Witnesses claimed to see some sort of wolf or giant cat preening over the animals and draining them of their blood. The town began.
Chupacabra.
Well, I think they might be cousins like you and me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the town began to arrange for group hunts.
This is like I'd be El Chupacabra, and you would be the Beast of Bladenborough, the lesser known, less attractive, just generally less appreciated cousin, right?
I guess your brother's the fish. Sorry.
What was it? The monster of what? I forget.
Yeah, nobody remembers that one.
Montana.
Oh, okay.
The Flathead Monster.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Flathead Fish Monster or something. Anyway, the town began to arrange for group hunts to kill the animal, but the attack suddenly stopped. Then, in 2006, it all started again. The attacks got so much attention, the History Channel sent in a team from Monsters Quest. Oh, that was the name of the city in Monsters Inc. Monsters Quest. To try to figure it out. They concluded the attacker might be a cougar, or might not.
Thanks, Monster Quest.
So wait, they're saying it was a 50-year-old sexed up woman?
Yeah. Just sucking blood.
Oh, no.
Sucking dicks and sucking blood.
Yeah, she got confused. Well, geez Louise.
Beast of Bladenborough. All right. So none of these, Eric, I'm going to stop you for a minute.
Thank you.
None of these have kind of freaked you out as much as Homie did, right? Homie's still the leaderboard?
I mean, let's put Rake, in the running.
Okay. Rake is in the tournament bracket.
Yeah, but the fish, I'm not too worried about.
No, just don't go in that lake.
Yeah, Chupacabra, maybe, but Rake is the one that's the freakiest so far out of this section.
Okay. I'm with you. I agree.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Okay, well, let's move on to North Dakota, where they had a UFO invasion.
An invasion? Like Independence Day?
Exactly. I think that movie was a documentary about the invasion.
Okay.
All right, so in the summer of 1966, there was a huge influx of UFO sightings in the northern United States, particularly in North Dakota. While typically these sightings can be explained by clouds or aircraft, subjects drew sketches of objects that did not appear Earth-like. And there's a drawing here which makes no sense to me. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's a bunch of circles.
Like my daughter tried to draw the solar system.
I think that might say hazy light pointing to a rectangle with more circles in it. And there's a bunch of words that are illegible.
What does that say? It's a star like
then,
Jen?
No. I think
no. This is completely illegible.
Some star something then burst and started
whirling.
Okay, whirling to the right. Turning different colors.
Okay, so to say the least, documentation wasn't to the standards that it is today.
Well, Paul, it was only the 60s, so they didn't have like pens or typewriters. Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, the government tried to claim that rockets had launched in August, the month at the epicenter of these claims, but there still seems to be lingering questions about whether these rockets and their exhaust trail can explain these eerie sightings.
Rockets? Why are they shooting rockets over North Dakota?
Because, Paul, they're shooting the UFOs.
Maybe.
Yep. Okay.
Have you heard the theory? Sorry, I don't want to cut you short.
Go ahead.
North Dakota is boring me, so I'm gonna bring up something that is less boring. Have you heard the theory that these big alien, like all the most notable alien UFO sightings, I guess, they always seem to happen after some sort of catastrophe on Earth? Like they say that Roswell happened right after they started testing the atom bomb in the desert.
Oh, that makes sense.
And people, there's people that think that maybe these aliens are kind of worried about us, and they're coming in to check things out to make sure that we don't find some kind of technology that could interfere with their lifestyle at all.
I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe they're just like, what are you doing? Stop.
Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah, I feel like they know that they're pretty safe because we don't have any sort of technology that's going to take us to wherever they might be.
Well, I've also heard claims that the reason countries haven't put weapons in space, because if you think about it, like, if you want to keep these crazy countries like North Korea or, Russia in check, one way to do it would be to launch some sort of, weaponized satellite that is actually in orbit and has the capability to do what you want whenever you want it to. And there's these theories that the reason that hasn't happened yet isn't because we don't have the technology to do it, but because we've actually been in contact with extraterrestrials, and there's some sort of extraterrestrial, like UN, so to speak, that limits us from doing those kind of things.
Oh, that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wish they would interfere more and get us to stop using weapons on Earth.
Yeah. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That's what we all need, is the aliens to come save us.
That's right.
Okay.
Transformers.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go to Ohio. Satan's Hollow. Allegedly a portal to hell, Satan's Hollow is one of the most mysterious and disturbing legends this author has ever come across. Part of an old sewer system, the tunnels are said... Oh, why does Alexa keep talking to me?
Alexa loves you.
Yeah, but, it's like, if I'm not talking to you, mind your business. All right. So
tell her that. You need to tell her that. You have to establish ground rules.
Okay, Alexa, mind your business.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Yeah, clearly. All right, so anyways, Satan's Hollow is part of an old sewer system, and the tunnels are said to be haunted by a shadow man and other angry spirits. According to popular belief, Satanists used to use the tunnel system as their headquarters, and that somewhere inside the maze of sewers is the altar room, where they had ceremonies and sacrifices, culminating in a human sacrifice that they made in order to summon Satan himself. Some say they were successful. And now he's president.
We did it.
Yep.
So this is, I don't think that it is actually a Satan worshipping cult that's behind it. I think this is a Pennywise situation.
Oh, no.
I looked more into this, and apparently people have reported hearing crying and screaming coming from these sewers and coming from different like vents that lead to this sewer.
Oh, that's freaky.
I think the Shadow Man is Pennywise.
Oh my God.
And this is Stephen King's nightmare coming true.
Maybe it is a documentary based on this tunnel system.
Maybe these movies are all documentaries.
Or maybe, what's that? Isn't there some theory where it's like, if everybody believes something, it becomes real?
Yeah, that's. I think I've heard that before. I don't know. I can't give you a like exact name on that, but it makes sense almost. You know?
Yeah.
If enough people believe something, then it's
brings it into existence.
Reality.
Yeah. That's a freaky thought.
Yeah, I mean, look at. Never mind. Okay. I was gonna bring up religion and churches and stuff, but I think that's better left unsaid.
Okay. Well, let's see what Oklahoma has in store for us. They have the Hex House. Paul, what is the Hex House, Paul?
The Hex House is a house where a woman lived, and I forget the details, Eric. You're going to have to refresh me here.
Okay. Well, the woman is Carol Ann Smith, and she lived in Tulsa in the 1940s.
Okay. Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Yeah, that's right. And Smith kept to herself, except for the loud rituals she held in her home. Neighbors eventually called the cops, who found 2 women in cages in Smith's basement.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I forgot about this. They had been there for over 10 years. Smith was thrown in jail, but people say that her house's foundations are still around and that they attract a fair amount of negative paranormal activity.
This is crazy. I mean, these stories where people just keep people. They just have people.
Right.
For years and years and years. Like, there's stories where people have had, like, a woman held captive and she's had, like, kids, and the kids, like, she gets no medical attention. Like, she just has to have kids in, like, closets.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It's bizarre. There was a story, this was probably just a couple of years ago, where, remember that guy was, like, walking by a house and saw some girl, like, handcuffed, like, banging on the back door, and he went and let her out, and she came out and was like, there's 3 more of us in there.
Yeah, she was on Dr. Phil.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think
it was one of those situations where, like, I think one of them had kids.
Yeah.
While being trapped.
Either had kids or was pregnant or something, I think.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you... I don't know. I mean, that's it's tough to keep... How would you keep going after that?
I don't know. It's pretty horrible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So I could see where, they could lead to some kind of negative paranormal activity.
Yeah,
sure.
Definitely. Lots of negative energy. It's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's weird.
Right into the foundation.
I think I'm gonna say, all right, let's get a final 4 bracket here for these stories. So we have Homie the Clown.
Yeah.
We have the Rake. Is it safe to say the Hex House should be in there?
Okay, I guess so.
Does that not creep you out? I mean, I guess maybe it's.
It doesn't creep me out in a paranormal
more just,
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like terrible.
Okay.
If it's true.
Let's move on then.
Okay. Well, let's go to Oregon. They have Crater Lake. Is it real or is it fake? Well, let me tell you, Crater Lake.
It's not a legend. I've seen it. I drive by it.
Oh, nice. Well, Crater Lake has been plagued with countless mysterious events and disappearances. Hikers have found mutilated bodies on trails around the lake, and both... Well, maybe his cousin, both UFOs and Bigfoot seem to be frequent guests. A body was found in the 1970s that had seemingly been melted into its own clothing. The body's boots were gone, and the socks were found several feet away, filled with toe bones.
Yeah. Okay. So I looked into this a little bit. The person's name was Charles McCollier, and he just disappeared. He went into the woods, and that was the last anybody saw him. So they started a search for this guy. They were able to find his key. He had a distinct Volkswagen key, and I guess when the people who knew him saw it, they knew that that was his key. So they kept searching, and what they found was so surreal that a 30-year park ranger described it as the strangest thing he'd ever seen. So they found this guy. They found Charles. They describe it as melted. That's kind of not right. What they found was his pants and his socks. Just like sitting by themselves. Now, the reason this is weird is because there were 8.5 feet of fresh snow on the ground. So either this guy decided he wanted to hike in 8.5 feet of fresh snow without any pants on, or something else crazy happened. But yeah, they found his shoes, which still had toes. It says it actually has his feet up to part of the... Where was it? I lost it here. Up to part of the tibia.
Oh.
But then the rest was gone.
So his body was gone. It was just his feet that were left.
His feet and his clothes.
That's so weird.
Yeah, but his pants were found unbuttoned, and his belt was undone. No shirt or coat was ever found.
Huh.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy story. Something's going on there at Crater Lake.
Something.
That's the crazy part to me. I mean, Bigfoot, UFOs. I mean, you're kind of just ticking things off the list there, but something happened there with poor Charles.
Yeah, sounds like it. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Charles.
Yeah. Okay, well, now going on to Pennsylvania, they have the Cult House and Devil's Road.
Devil's Road. Now, we talked about this. This was like the little side note that I did for Delaware. Apparently, I think I said before, like the road goes from Delaware to Pennsylvania. It kind of crosses through. So I guess it's fair to say that it's a Pennsylvania urban legend as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
While technically labeled on maps as Cossart Road, this windy street is dodged with dark rumors and spooky tales. Along the scary road is also a scary house known as the Cult House. Black SUVs are said to be parked outside when there are occupants in the home, and the vehicles have been said to chase away curious drivers. Depending on who you ask, the house is either owned by a satanic cult, the KKK, or an extremely wealthy family who insists on intermarrying each other to keep their fortune in the family.
You like how Jacob seemed to have kind of tiptoed around it? We just threw the name out there.
Yeah.
But again, it's rumors. No one knows anything. No one can say for sure who the family is or if it's true. It's probably not true, right?
I don't know.
It's probably not true. We're saying that it's probably not true. This is all hearsay. We love DuPont. We love non-stick surfaces, and Jeff Gordon's our favorite NASCAR racer. So,
wait, is Jeff Gordon DuPont?
He drives the DuPont car, Eric.
Oh, well.
DuPont number 24.
Yeah, that's more your thing, I guess.
Number 1. I don't know anything about NASCAR.
Well, it seems like you know a lot more than I do.
If that's a lot more than you do, then yeah, I guess I do know a lot more than you do.
Thank you.
Okay,
so Rhode Island, their urban legend is probably the most famous one on this list after Area 51, and it is the Conjuring House.
What about the Jersey Devil?
I don't know. Listen, everybody saw this documentary about the Conjuring House.
I saw it. It was creepy.
Okay, well, it's based on a true story that happened in a real house, and this is it. The residents of the house actually say that the movie is a pretty accurate representation of what happened, with a few artistic license taken here and there. An ancient Satanist named Bathsheba really did haunt the house and really did possess one of the kids, allegedly. That really did happen, allegedly.
Okay, this if that's right, if the movie was an accurate representation to what actually happened at that house, fuck that.
Oh yeah.
That scene in the basement at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's rough stuff. So, yeah, creepy stuff. If you don't know about this, then just, watch The Conjuring or look it up. We're gonna talk more about this as well as some other cases that are connected to this case in a future episode. But Conjuring House, that's a good urban legend.
Yeah, all the movies in the Conjuring universe are good, but I think that the first one is the best. The Conjuring,
it's very good. Very good.
I'm looking forward to The Nun that's coming out. Have you seen the previews for that, Paul?
I did. I saw the preview. Well, at the end of, what was it? The end of Annabelle 2, they have the little, after the credits snippet, didn't they? Or am I imagining that?
No, I think... Wait, was it... Yeah, was that Annabelle 2?
It was... Yeah.
One of those movies.
Annabelle, the Creation. The one we saw in the movies.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds
What's
right.
next? Let's
okay.
talk about South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. It's the Lizard Man.
The Lizard Man. Okay.
And he looks like a villain from Power Rangers, the 1990s TV show.
Listen, if you... I don't want to make it seem like I'm pushing you to go to our website. If you want to see a picture of the most absurd thing you've ever seen. Now, this picture is reportedly a sighting. This is not some kind of... I don't even know. This is what they claim they saw coming out of the woods. And like Eric said, it is 100% a dude in a shitty costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to say about the Lizard Man. People in South Carolina think that there's a giant lizard person hybrid that lives in the woods and chases people, and it's definitely bullshit, right? It's got to be this is... What if it's real? What if they find what if they find this body in the woods, after it dies?
Yeah, I think that we'd what's the saying? We'd
eat our shorts.
Eat something, right? Isn't there a saying like that?
Yeah, it's you eat your hat or eat your words.
No, there's something better. Anyway, I don't know. Eat
your ass.
Oh.
This is... it looks like a shitty Godzilla costume, the picture that we're looking at.
But apparently some guy claims that he ran toward him.
Oh, yeah, read the quote.
Okay. Here's a quote from somebody who apparently had a run-in with the Lizard Man. He says, quote, "I looked back and saw something running across the field towards me. It was about 25 yards away, and I saw red glowing eyes. I ran into the car, and as I locked it, the thing grabbed the door handle. I could see him from the neck down. The 3 big fingers, long black nails, and green rough skin. It was strong and angry. I looked in my mirror and saw a blur of green running. I could see his toes, and then he jumped on the roof of my car. I thought I heard a grunt, and then I could see his fingers through the front windshield where they curled around on the roof. I sped up and swerved to shake the creature off." Thank you.
Oh, that's good. Okay, we'll leave it there. Lizard Man, South Carolina.
Yeah, that was him.
Do you be the judge for yourself?
Yeah, you could tell by the way that guy was talking that he's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
that was by the way, that was a spot on South Carolina accent.
Oh, was the South? I didn't even remember what state it was from.
South Carolina.
Now we know. Well, now going to South Dakota, we have ghost joggers.
Ghost joggers.
Listen, I can tell you one thing. I don't want to jog in life. I sure as hell don't want to jog in death for eternity.
No, that would be hell.
That's right, and that might be where these ghosts are.
That might be hell.
Okay.
I especially don't want to jog in South Dakota.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Too cold.
Yeah. But apparently, if you are jogging or driving by yourself at night, you can see two shadow people running on the side of the road. Legend says that 2 university students died while running on the road, and they haven't stopped working out since. Yeah, they're in, if not hell, at least purgatory. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, is that a thing though? Like, if you die doing something, or are you always doing that? Do you have to always do that?
I don't know. I hope I die eating something delicious, though, if that's the case.
Yeah, me too. Me too, Eric.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we should plan to die at a restaurant together.
Yeah. Eric, we should die at the movie theater, and then we can see all the new movies as they are released.
Oh, yeah, but make sure we have a nice big tub of popcorn.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, in Tennessee, we have Skinning Tom.
Skinning Tom.
What is Skinning Tom? Well, this old legend is the tale of a man named Tom who met a pretty girl in town and began dating her. What Tom didn't know, however, is that the girl was already married. At some point in this courtship, her husband found out and began plotting revenge on his cheating wife and her paramour. He staked out a local lover's lane that he knew they spent time at and watched them make out in the car. He then emerged from
What a creep.
Yeah, well, Skinning Tom is being watched by the Peeping Tom. Am I right?
Oh, you're right.
He staked out. Oh, wait, I already said that. Where was I? Oh, he watched him make out in the car. Yeah, he watched him make out in the car. He then emerged from the bushes and stabbed his wife in the stomach. The husband then turned his attention to Tom and skinned the man alive. Rumors say that around the lover's lane, a ghostly figure with no skin and dripping blood will pass on his pain to anyone who crosses his path.
It must not be a very popular lover's lane, because it's got to take a long time to skin somebody.
That's true, yeah. Well, but also if you're in lover's lane, you're not paying attention to the other people, am I right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Unless you're there by yourself crying.
Do you do that, Eric?
I'm talking about the Peeping Tom. Yes, I do.
Let's move on.
All right, so in Galveston, Texas, they have Ghostface. Not to be confused with Ghostface Killer.
No, he's dead. Maybe this is the ghost of Ghostface Killer.
Wait, is he dead?
Maybe this is the ghost face of Ghostface Killer. Oh, no, he's not dead. Old Dirty Bastard's dead.
Oh.
He might be dead. He could also be dead. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, no matter what anyone tries, this ghostly face will not disappear off the UT Medical School building in Galveston. Legend says that the face is of a man who originally owned the building and didn't want to donate it to the medical school.
The biggest asshole of all time.
Yeah. People who attended the school assure everyone that it is not fake. And we have some Facebook comments from
this is good.
Witnesses, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so the story is that there is a weird dirt smudge on the side of this building that looks like a face. And apparently this school has tried to power wash the face off, and when they do, it simply moves to a different panel of the side of this building. These people will explain more, and they're going to convince you that this is definitely true.
Okay, well, first we have Jack Hammer.
Jack Hammer. Get it?
Yep. So he says, the first time I saw this face was in the early 80s, about 11 o'clock at night. Went back in the daytime 2 days later. Yes, they have sandblasted the wall and replaced the whole wall, and the face is never ending. The property was owned by a man who vowed to never allow ownership to UTMB, and if they ever did acquire ownership, he would come back to haunt them. True story.
True story. Thanks, Jack Hammer. I wish I could click that show less part underneath your comment.
Oh. Well, we got Lockdown Rocks.
Okay.
And this person says, this is not pareidolia or whatever where your mind plays tricks on you. This thing even glows at night.
So she's adding a whole new twist to...
Yeah, making up words and everything.
Well, I mean, now it glows. Now the dirt smudge glows.
Oh yeah. All right.
But I shouldn't call it a smudge. You know why? Because Sandy Garrett
says this is not a smudge, and it has moved. Started a couple floors up. They tried to sandblast it off. It moved down. They tried to paint over it, and it moved down. And now it is above the door. They are leaving it alone because the only place it can go is inside.
Wait, why can't it go back to one of the places they previously sandblasted?
Because that's not how it works, Paul. There's only one place it can go, and it's inside. Not fake. People such as myself who have lived here know that it isn't.
Okay. Now, last week, I wasn't convinced, Derek. At this point, I thought that this seemed a little hokey. I thought that this seemed
a little pokey.
A little pokey. And then you read to me.
And I turned your ass right around.
Can I read Michael Manuel's comment, please?
Well, this is the one that's going to clinch it for everybody. Go ahead.
Okay. You guys ready?
Yes.
Seriously. I don't know if you've gotten Goose Pimples listening to our podcast in the past, but hold on to your butts because Michael Manuel about the Galveston Ghostface says, guys, this isn't fake at all.
And there you have it.
So that's it. It's not fake, which means it's real, which means this is creepy.
Yeah. That's so creepy.
Okay.
Alex Alexander.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to leave Alex out.
Yeah.
Read Alex Alexander's.
Okay. I know for a fact this is not fake. The first time I have seen this, it was on the first square on the top. Then they sandblasted the face off. And the next day it showed up on the next square right underneath the one they sandblasted. It is the same exact face.
Dun, dun, dun.
I want to see what happens when it moves inside.
I do too. You think it's just going to like step out of the wall? Like, finally, I'm freed.
Now give me back my building.
It is I, the man who did not want to donate my building to science even once I was dead.
That's right.
Okay, let's go on to Utah.
Utah? It's the killer in cop's clothing.
The killer in cop's clothing.
A cop. Oh. Okay, so it's pretty much a nightmare, right? You need help and are so relieved to see a cop, but they are actually a murderer. Well, this horror story actually happened in Utah. Serial killer Ted Bundy dressed up in a police uniform and told a woman that her car had been broken into and he needed her to come to the station to file a report. Her suspicions were aroused when he picked her up in a plain car, not a cop cruiser.
That's not all that was aroused.
Oh, I know that's right. When he tried to cuff her, she kicked up in the jewels and ran to the real police station.
This is one that kind of surprised me that this actually happened. That it actually happened in such like a high profile case. That Ted Bundy was the one that did this, because this is one of those things that I've seen. And I don't know if you've seen, but it goes around Facebook, like people warning women, like, there's cops, there's cop cars that are actually people trying to just take advantage of women, and they try to pull you over, but they have fake lights. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You seen that?
Probably, but I saw something recently, like last week or the week before, about this woman who was like, I was coming out of the mall with my girlfriend, and I got up to the door, and I saw something, and I said, oh, no. I went around to the passenger side and climbed in there. We locked the doors and drove right to the car wash. There was a $100 bill stuck in the door handle.
Lucky.
And no, but I saw online that people are putting chemicals on the $100 bill so that when the women touch it, they pass out, and then they get kidnapped and raped. So I went right to the car wash.
Oh, see, the thing, I didn't know those chemicals existed. I didn't know there was a chemical that when you touched it, you passed out.
Yeah, well, you learn something new every day on Facebook.
It's true, you do.
Yeah,
and it's a scary situation. So listen, if you see $100 bills out laying around, just don't touch it.
That's right.
Because so chemicals that knock you out, and then you, I assume, get kidnapped and become a woman chained up in the Hex House. That's one thing. But worse than that is when you see $100 bill and you reach down to get it, and it's attached to a string, and they pull it a little bit away from you. And then you have to take a couple steps, and then you reach down again, and then it pulls a little bit further, and then you look like a real horse's ass when you find out it's just the local neighborhood kids playing a little prank. They got you again.
That's right. You know, I think when I was a kid, I was at the Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk with my family, and Ryan.
I know the place.
Oh yeah, you know it well. Ryan, my brother, saw a quarter.
Red Ryan.
That's right, Red Ryan saw a quarter on the boardwalk and tried to pick it up, but it was glued to the boardwalk.
Those sons of bitches.
Yeah, another little embarrassing trick you can pull on somebody. It's there's a lot less risk involved with that one. You know what I mean?
I don't think I think the quarter will it will dilute any kind of knockout chemicals that you put on it. So go for quarters. I don't think the knockout chemicals can be put on quarters.
Right. Okay.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. All right, now let's go to Vermont. Bennington Triangle. The Bennington Triangle has been a persistent epicenter for bizarre and strange happenings. UFOs have been seen within its boundaries. Bigfoot has been sighted more than a few times, and people seem to disappear almost left and right. Well, between UFOs and Bigfoot, I'm not surprised people are disappearing.
Abducted, they're being eaten. Does Bigfoot eat people?
I don't know if he eats them or sucks them. Their blood, I mean.
Or not, just...
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, one of the most prominent cases was that of Paula Jean Weldon, who vanished while walking a path that cut through the triangle. The search got so widespread that the college she attended actually closed so that students could help look for her. She was never found.
Bad job. Bad job by the students.
Yeah, well, that's not that surprising, I guess, when you see some of the work they turn in. I'm in school, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm in school, and there's nothing that's more reassuring about the work you're doing than reading your fellow students' work.
Bunch of dummies, huh?
Sometimes. I mean, we all have a lot going on. I'm also like 20 years older than them, but whatever.
How's that make you feel?
It makes me feel young.
Young at heart.
Young at heart. Yeah, they keep me young.
They keep you on your toes, I'll tell you that.
That's right. All right, well, Virginia has the Bunny Man.
The Bunny Man.
Yeah.
You like the jingles? I'm doing jingles for all these crazy serial killer people.
Yeah, I like the jingles. It makes it more interesting.
Okay,
well, in the early 1970s, reports began to surface of a person in a bunny costume running around Fairfax, Virginia, and threatening people with a large axe. I think that this may be making the list.
This one's weird.
Yeah. At least 4 official police reports were made by different people that encountered this terrifying rabbit. According to legend, an insane asylum was successfully shut down after a public petition, and the inmates were being transferred to another facility. One of the vans transferring patients crashed, however, and one of the inmates was never found. That inmate, Douglas J. Griffin, had been placed in the asylum for killing his entire family on Easter Sunday. The Halloween after the escape, a group of teenagers were allegedly killed inside this tunnel that is pictured here, with their corpses hung over the bridge, and locals began to avoid that tunnel every Halloween after that.
Very creepy.
Yeah, it's so creepy. But also, it seems kind of far-fetched. Like, this guy murdered his family on Easter, years later escapes from an insane asylum and decides to be a murderous Easter bunny.
Right. The whole bunny theme seems like a little... there could be truth to it, and then it just gets embellished. They add that he escaped or that he killed his family on Easter, and that's why he dresses like a bunny.
Or maybe he did kill his family on Easter and doesn't actually dress like a bunny. Who knows?
Who knows? I'll tell you one thing I do know.
What?
There are 2 movies, both made in 2011, based on the Bunny Man.
Really?
There was the Bunny Man Massacre, 3 out of 10 on IMDb.
Sounds good.
And then there is the Bunny Man, also from 2011. A couple of dim-witted teens get chased by a killer dressed as a bunny suit.
Oh. Surprisingly, I've never heard of either of these.
Okay, Eric. There's also Bunny Man 2. There's Bunny Man Vengeance. How have we never seen any of these?
I don't know. We should put them on our watch list.
Add to watch list.
Yeah.
Click.
Thank you.
All right. I think this is something that I think would be. It would serve us best to watch these movies along with our cousin Corey. I think that would be something we should do.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it. And then we will let you guys know how good or horrible these movies are. Hormone-driven frat boy Joe goes to an obscure party to hook up with a girl he met online. Frat boy Joe should have asked more about the party.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're going to look into these Bunny Man movies.
That does sound kind of good, though.
Okay.
On to Washington?
On to Washington. Man, we're almost there, aren't we?
Yeah, we're getting somewhere. I think we've been going at this for a while. All right, so Washington has the legend of 13 Steps to Hell.
13 Steps to Hell.
Yeah, there's a rumor surrounding Maltby Cemetery that is astonishingly chilling. Chilly. It's chilly out here. It's so astonishing. Okay, according to popular belief, there was an underground tomb that belonged to a wealthy family that had 13 steps to the bottom. That's a bad sign right there. 13 steps.
13 steps. You never built 13 steps. You never put a 13th floor in a hotel.
That's right. If you walked down the 13 steps and then turned around and looked up, you would look straight into the depths of hell and lose your sanity. Several children allegedly played this game and never spoke another word for the rest of their lives. Uh-oh.
Creepy.
Yeah, that's creepy.
I don't know. I think I don't buy the portal to hell and the gate to hell thing. I think the ones that get me, the ones that scare me the most, are the ones that like are kind of based in reality more. Like,
yeah,
you know, like Homie the Clown. Like that's, I don't know.
I don't know.
Spirits are one thing, like the supernatural and haunting, because who knows? You know what I mean? Maybe there's some like there's definitely places that give you the feeling that could be real. You know what I mean? Like there's places. You've been to creepy places, right?
Yeah.
Where you get this feeling that, you know, I think there's something watching me, or like maybe, and that in itself is creepy. But there's nothing creepy to me about like, oh, the gates of hell are going to open and you're going to see fire and brimstone.
Yeah.
I just don't buy it.
Yeah,
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it. But listen, this is kind of weird. It says the tomb was mysteriously bulldozed over a few years ago. That's weird, right?
That is weird.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, listen, I'm talking a big game here, but if we were at Maltby Cemetery and we're staring at these 13 steps and you're daring me to go down and then turn around and look up, I probably wouldn't do it. I've never even, like, I'm too scared to turn off the lights and say Bloody Mary in the bathroom, even though I know it's completely bogus and it's all bullshit. Like, I'm not going to try it. What if the shit happens?
Yeah, right?
You know?
Well, it's like the elevator game. You going to do that?
No, you are. You're the one that lives in New York.
What's that mean?
The highest elevator I have access to goes like 3 floors.
Damn, you're right.
So you're going to have to do it, and I will see you on the news.
All right. Well, maybe you can just come and do it with me.
Let's go to West Virginia.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
They have the Fleetwood Mac Monster.
Oh,
excuse me. Flatwoods Monster. In the fall of 1952, 2 brothers and their friend saw something extremely strange in the sky. It was a bright light that appeared to land somewhere off in the distance. The brothers told their mother, and they, along with a state trooper, decided to see if they could track it down. What they found was a pulsating ball of fire and a 10-foot creature that chased them away from the object.
I like the idea of a state trooper like running away, screaming.
Yeah, and then it turned out it was just a man in a lizard costume.
It was the birth of the lizard man.
Yep. So, anyway, when police returned to the area, they noticed an extremely repugnant smell, but the object and monster were gone. Other locals reported seeing the object of having an encounter with the monster. I think maybe.
I think it was supposed to say
or
other reported seeing the object and having an encounter with the monster.
But the government says it was just an owl. Oh my God, what is it?
Now, I mean, can you imagine being the state trooper and having to explain why you went screaming into the woods after seeing an owl?
Yeah. Well.
Oh, it's just an owl.
Aw, so cute little owl.
So cute. Such a cute owl.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, yeah, all right, weird. Weird because there was a cop there, and the cop is, I guess...
Yeah. Scared.
Well, I mean, I guess the cop, it kind of, validates the story. I mean, if the cop said that's what he saw, then I guess that's what he saw, but...
They might have all been on LSD. We don't know all the facts, Paul.
It's true. Okay, let's go to Wisconsin.
Okay, well, they have a plastic surgeon experimenting on patients. Glenn Tucker was a Wisconsin plastic surgeon who allegedly left dozens of people severely mangled after performing surgery on them. Tucker was long regarded as a good doctor, but to his patients, he was a monster.
A monster.
Yeah, the Miami New Times tells the story of one of his patients, Jan Legman.
That's a typo.
It's a typo. It's, I guess, Jan Lehman.
Layman.
Who Dr. Tucker conned into 2 surgeries that both seemed to solve none of her problems. So here appears to be an excerpt from the Miami New Times. From the start, the second procedure seemed odd. Lehman awoke from the anesthesia to watch Tucker wheel her from a crowded prep room down a hallway. The first operating room was occupied by a janitor mopping the floor. The second was eerily empty. Lehman passed out again and then awoke with electrical tubing up her nose. Tucker soon entered the room and ripped it out by hand, tearing all the stitches.
What is electrical tubing?
No idea. But when she made it home from her second surgery, still dazed and heavily medicated, she knew instinctively her nose was worse than ever, she says.
Okay. I mean, listen,
yeah, I don't know.
This is less of an urban legend and more of just a bad doctor. I mean, that's just a bad nose job.
Yeah. I don't know. It says other patients had similar experiences. One woman who came in for a breast augmentation procedure ended up having 2 infections and a square-shaped breast.
That's not what you wanted? I thought... See, we were on 2 different pages here.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted the square breasts.
Well, surprise. She wanted normal ones. A woman who wanted excess fat removed after dieting ended up having 13 surgeries. Another man wanted the spasms in his arm to go away, but the surgery was so botched, his arm had to be amputated.
See, that's a rough one.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
That's a rough one.
I mean, there's no way that... how can you do that and then still be a doctor?
Well, you just have to be a doctor in... I don't know. What year was this guy around? It doesn't say, does it? I'll tell you what. Medicine in the pre-1970s medicine was the wild fucking west. You could get away with murder. Literally. Sometimes you could get away with... I mean, they're still doing lobotomies, Eric.
You said they still are?
No. They were.
Oh, I mean, maybe that's what happened to you. All right. So anyway, after decades, these suspicious stories began to catch up to Tucker, and so he tried to fake his own death.
Okay, good.
Yeah, after the press finally tracked him down to Florida, he said that he had no choice but to run, and warned the reporter that if he was backed into a corner, he would leave this world, but he would not leave alone. Tucker eventually did leave, and not alone. He killed his wife and cat before turning the gun on himself.
What did the cat do? Why the cat?
The cat might have knocked his coffee off the table or something.
Oh, you think maybe he killed the cat first and then had to take his wife out just to cover his ass?
Maybe. You know what? I don't know.
The guy was a real wackadoo.
Yeah, sounds like it. Making square breasts, cutting off arms.
I'd like to see the square breast.
I bet you would, you pervert.
I mean, I'd like to just see the logistics of it. What part was square? Like, just was it like? Did it look like a Lego in a bag, or was like the whole thing square?
I don't know. I like to watch Botched. Do you ever see that show?
No, is that like bad surgeries?
Yeah, it's these two doctors in California, L.A.
They
Beverly
just
Hills.
keep doing bad jobs. They just everybody that comes in, they fuck them up.
No, Paul, they're angels on earth. They're fixing botched surgeries. Dr. Nassif and I forget the other one's name, but they're funny. They're funny guys. But yeah, so they'll, like, a lot of the times they'll have people who had gone in for breast augmentation and end up with a uniboob because it was
a uniboob.
Yeah, because it's basically botched, and I guess
is that, hold on, wait, is a uniboob like one giant boob in the center, or is that where one has to be amputated because it was so poorly done?
No, it's neither. It's like, so in the, like, when you get a breast implant, there are pockets in the breast where they put the implants, and I guess if you do it poorly, the pockets like meet in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
What does that look like? Or is it just like painful?
I think, well, I guess it's painful, but I think it looks like kind of like a square boob, I guess.
Oh yeah. I googled uniboob.
Oh, okay. Paul, maybe you should do whatever you're doing after the podcast.
I just wanted it to be one like giant cyclops boob when it came up. But no, it's more like what you're explaining. It's just kind of like misshapen.
Yeah, if you don't watch Botched, you should watch it. They also have another program called Botched by Nature, and it's more like congenital defects or from accidents that have left people with deformities or, well, you know, what have you, that they're trying to repair. Great, you know, they're angels on earth. Okay?
What channel does it come on?
It comes on E.
E. All right.
E.
Good. Proud sponsor of Goose Pimples. E. Entertainment.
That's right. Ryan Seacrest. What a buddy.
What a guy.
Doesn't he own E or something? Or does he just own the Kardashians?
Does he own the Kardashians?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, we better wrap this up, huh?
Yeah, let's keep going here.
Okay, Wyoming. I think this is our last state.
There's Vermont still, right? Or did we do Vermont?
We did Vermont. Come on, get with the program here.
Oh, I forgot the alphabet for a minute.
It goes VW.
Okay.
All right. So, Wyoming has the Wyoming incident. In 2006, a video similar to the one that the author has tagged here began surfacing on the internet with this description. Quote, "The Wyoming incident, or the Wyoming hijacking, is a lesser-known case of television broadcast hijacking/hacking. A hacker managed to interrupt broadcasts from a local programming channel believed to serve several smaller communities in the county of Niobrara and aired his or her own video. The video contained numerous clips of disembodied human heads showing various emotions and poses. The camera position changed often, usually every 10 to 15 seconds, and the video was often interrupted by a special presentation announcement. The clip provided is taken from one of the intervals, and the video is mostly locally well known and would probably not even be that popular if it were not for the effects it had on the few residents who watched it for an extended period of time."
Now, what effects are these? What did it...
I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't say.
No, it doesn't say.
Okay, well, two things about this. Two things about the Wyoming incident. Number one, not an urban legend. It actually happened.
Oh.
Number two, when it says, what does it say, decapitated head or disembodied heads or whatever?
It says disembodied.
Disembodied. So it's not, these aren't real heads. This is like a
computer animation.
It's like a Max Headroom situation. It's like real bad, like CGI'd heads were floating around, and then some weird letters and numbers. It's weird. I mean, it would be weird if you were watching Botched and it was interrupted by something like this. But
true.
I don't know that it's fair to be on this list because it's not really an urban legend. It did happen. Now, I didn't know. I mean, I don't know what the effects that they're talking about are.
I don't know.
If that's the urban legend part. They didn't really mention it much in this article. So, there you have it, Eric. I think that our finalists for creepiest urban legend, I think it comes down to Illinois and New York. Homie the Clown or the Rake? What do you think?
I don't know. Let me think. Well,
see, the Rake, I think that the Rake it's scary. It's sketchy, but I think that the picture they used in this article really swayed our vote on that one. I mean,
it definitely did. If I walked outside right now, though, and saw a Homie the Clown standing there waiting for me, I don't know, which is scary.
Yeah, that's pretty much just what if they were next to each other?
I don't want to
walk out and saw Homie the Clown, and it scared you so badly that you turned around and ran back into your house.
Don't even say it.
And there was the Rake.
Oh, no.
So then you ran down the 13 steps in front of your house and looked back to see if the Rake was still there. Portal to hell. What would you do?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I'd probably go insane.
Yeah. That's the only thing you could do.
Yeah, God willing, I'll never see either of them.
All three? You don't want to see a portal to hell.
Well,
you will see. I mean, you're going to see that when you're
eventually. That's right. Well, you'll be there too, buddy, so it's all right.
All right. You'll get there first.
We'll see.
All right, so Homie the Clown, I think, has to be the scariest of the urban legends. If you want to know more about Homie the Clown, check out our episode from 2 weeks ago, Urban Legend by State, episode 1.
Yes.
Part 1. I forget what I called it. And hey, if any of these urban legends gave you goose pimples, do us a favor and just tell a friend about our podcast. Word of mouth is the best way to spread this thing, and if you guys have enjoyed it, any of it, even just a couple seconds of it.
Yeah.
Tell somebody so they can enjoy it. And do us a favor, like I said, if you go on the iPhone with the podcast app, it's super simple. Just rate, review our podcast. If you want to contact us, let us know how you like the podcast, or if you have any suggestions for topics, you can email them to us at goosepimplespodcast@gmail.com. All the pictures we talked about today are going to be on goosepimplespodcast.com.
Listen, I say just go on Facebook and send us a comment.
Yeah, we want to get the Facebook community going here. So if you listen to this podcast, I know there's people listening. I see it. I know you're listening.
I hope so, anyway.
Yeah, go to Facebook and join the Facebook, I guess the fan page, the community page, whatever. And
tell us your spooky stories. We want
spooky stories.
Yeah,
yes.
We're very curious because we are interested in things that have really happened to people who are real life people.
Yeah, we are. And like I said, if you want to email them in, we can share the story. If you want to call into the podcast, you can come on and you can chat with us and you can tell your own story.
Yeah,
we do have some coming up. I have 2 or 3 planned that will be in the next couple episodes, so you can look forward to that. We didn't do it on this one because this one ran a little long, but yeah, it's been fun. And
oh yeah,
hey, do us a favor, make sure you check out paraboxmonthly.com. They are good friends of us. They've been super supportive to our podcast, and it is the only place that you can get the custom exclusive Goose Pimple stickers that we sent out last month, and I think we're gonna continue to send out different stickers each month with Parabox. So if you want those, go to paraboxmonthly.com, sign up for your first box, and you can get 10% off if you use Goose Pimples as the promo code at checkout.
Wonderful. That sounds great.
Thanks, guys. That's it. We love you. You're the best.
Yeah, stay warm out there, okay?
Yeah. And rest in peace, Mike. He's dead.
Bye, Mike.